So there is no playbook on what to do in cases like this, and we're asking for everyone's support. It's been a tremendous outpouring of support. I can't count how many phone calls and emails and texts I've had over the last number of hours. You know, it's amazing. You know, what kind of I think people can just relate to this because you know, hockey is such a big part of our culture and our communities throughout this country, and I think everybody can relate to you know, to what's happened here in Humboldt, and that's, I think, why they're so you know, so giving is you know, helping us out in that. So. This is a story that's affected a lot of people throughout the world and the province. I had a phone call with the mayor of Swift Current and some other people from Swift Current that have gone through this as well with their team back in the 80s.
The differences from the Swift Current bus tragedy, well, this was in the middle of playoffs, and the team obviously can't continue. So how much of a bearing does that have, the whole different scenario? You can't really, it's really unprecedented.
Well, it is, and again, I think the only way I can answer that question is like I said earlier, is we're going to talk to the org groups and figure out what we decide as a group to move forward, and then go with that. So, you know, and I realize Swift Current's different, but that's just the way it is. So, unfortunately. You know, I mean, these young men moving forward, this is going to become part of their memory, whether you like it or not. From my previous career, that's just life. And so being able to cope with that and not being afraid to seek somebody out to speak to and you know, really sit down and speak to and get some help is going to be important.
So you'll be encouraging your players to do that same thing?
Yeah, you know, absolutely. I mean, whether it's the players, coaches, whatever, I mean, there's going to be people that are going to need it. And I think the last thing you want to do is be ashamed that you need the help. It's important to go out there and reach for the help, regardless of when, why, how come. It's to go out there and reach for it.
You know, the fellow I talked from the BBC related to playing football, as he said. You know, they do the same thing there, different sport, but they're, you know, sending kids and teams on the road, and you know, they saw the story and the same, you know, what they're doing as well. So it's affected people all over. Prime Minister asked me to wanted to relate that as well, that you know, we're having people recognize our community and the tragedy that's happened from all over the world.